Disney games. There was one era when you heard that phrase and you knew that you were in for a good time. But did that hold up until the 2000s? Today we're looking at Donald Duck and Quack Attack for the SEGA Dreamcast. Donald Duck and Quack Attack, also known as Going Quackers in the US, is a Ubisoft and Disney interactive game that was released in the year 2000. It follows the story of Donald Duck getting ready to watch Daisy's daring new news report on Murloc's secret temple. During the report, she gets kidnapped by an angered Murloc, cutting the signal from the broadcast, leaving Donald and company in awe. Donald and Gladstone rush to the newly invented warp machine, made by Gyro, in an attempt to rescue Daisy from the evil clutches of Murloc. The cutscenes, though very compressed, still impressed me with their quality of animation and compression in general. It brought me back to that nostalgic Saturday morning cartoon feel, with its overactive expressions that just seemed to fit perfectly in the world of Donald Duck. But that's enough about the story. Let's get to what actually counts, the gameplay. In Donald Duck Quack Attack, you jump around the diverse landscapes of Duckburg to rescue Daisy while collecting coloured stars, Huey, Dewey and Louie's toys, and most important of all, the boss warp pad pieces, all of which are hidden in each of the 16 levels. After completing each level, beating the boss and finding all of Huey, Dewey or Louie's toys along the way, you'll unlock a chase level, where you need to run towards a screen avoiding traps and pits while being closely followed by a menacing foe. If successful, you'll run into Gladstone, who will challenge you to beat his time trials in every level of the current world. And if you're brave enough to conquer these trials, you'll unlock a new costume for Donald to explore the next few worlds in, with the costume's theme tying in closely to the current locale you're in. But how does the game actually play? Well, it's not too bad at all. The input seemed very responsive, and when I died I knew it was my fault, not the game's. This type of gameplay suits my style perfectly, with its precise jumping and quick reaction time being vital for beating each obstacle in your path. Donald can be hurt 2 times before he passes out and you get set back to the nearest checkpoint. You can tell how many hits you have left by looking at how happy Donald is at the top right of the screen. A smiling Donald can be hit twice, and an angry Donald can only be hit once. If you get hit and become angry, you can restore a hit point by collecting one of the few milkshakes scattered around the levels, which will also give you a burst of speed and make you invulnerable for a few seconds, thrashing away at any enemy in your path. Likewise, in the process of getting hit while in the smiling state, you will enter a very short anger burst, which will help you clear out the area while temporarily invulnerable. Now onto the types of places you'll visit. There are 2 main types of levels you'll find when playing Quack Attack, the 3D third-person levels, reminiscent of Crash Bandicoot's hallway-like designs, and the more familiar 2D levels, which are reminiscent of the Castle of Illusion series, and are slightly heavier on exploring. The first world is set in the forests of Duckburg, and is the standard introductory romp with no penalties if you miss a jump, and lots of extra chances in the form of milkshakes. The world's boss is Bernadette the Bird, who can be taken out with ease after you learn her pattern, which should only take a death if that. The chase level has you being pursued by an angered bear recently stung by bees, which is a good introduction to the bonus levels and how they'll work in future worlds. For completing the forest of Duckburg, you'll unlock the tourist costume to explore the next world in. The second world is set in the cityscape construction and isn't much of a difficulty spike from the forests. You'll learn to jump over the active steam jets and bounce on sleeping dogs in the streets and in the skyscrapers. The boss of this world is Beagle Boy, another simple boss fight which tests your daring jumps and time swipes while on the run from exploding dynamite and a heart-stomping wrecking ball. The chase level has you escaping a truck speeding down the back streets on a quest for your life. For completing the cityscape construction, you'll unlock the Magician's outfit. The third world is Magica's Castle and is a major spike in difficulty compared to the first 2 worlds, but isn't unfair in its design. This world gave me the most trouble, with its dark hallways and daring jump sections. The boss of this world is none other than Magica Dispel herself. And this boss fight? Ooh, this boss fight! I don't know if it was my timing or the way that it's scripted, but I had the hardest time in this game on this one small fight. Once I got her pattern down, it still didn't help, and I feel like I just got lucky. But the theme of this world is still pretty awesome. The chase level involves you being hunted by a detached ghostly hand, and isn't too challenging, but has more weaving leaps compared to the other levels. After outrunning the hand, you'll unlock the nighttime costume for Donald to parade in the last world of the game. The fourth and final world of the game is Murloc's secret temple, and is bounds easier than the third world, though has a few tricky jumps for you to master. The only other new thing this world really has is that one enemy that I always get tricked by and try to jump on his spiky head, only hurting me. Oh, and some easy to avoid laser walls. The boss of this level is of course Murloc, who transforms himself into a dragon. All you do is avoid the firewalls and fireballs that he throws and hit the switches and then you shoot his crystal. It's a far easier fight than Magicka, and once defeated, you've beaten the game. The final chase level has you avoiding a broken Sphinx's head rolling after you and isn't too much trouble to beat. You'll unlock the Explorer's costume if you see it through. Other than beating all of the time trials to unlock the briefly mentioned costumes, or trying to get a better score or time for bragging rights, this game doesn't have much more to offer once completed. My playtime was around 3.5 hours, and I'd be lying if I said I didn't enjoy every moment of it, other than Magicka's boss fight. I just kept on dying. And as with all Disney games, the music is very catchy and very enjoyable to listen to while running around the locations of Duckburg. And with the returning voice cast, it pushes this game to the top of my mind when thinking of Disney games from the early 2000s. The only other thing to note here is the VMU display, which has a picture of Donald with the words Donald Duck below him. If given the chance to wake this game up or keep it dreaming, I think I'd keep it dreaming. It's just too much fun with all its light-hearted platforming and quick timing responses and everything Disney this game has to offer. If you happen to come by this game for any platform, I say pick it up, but the memories I've had with it on the Dreamcast is where this game will always lie with me. And with that, I think I'm on to another game. My name is AJ Splutter and I hope you keep on collecting.